it's Nancy, and if you have been following along with the Christmas Craft Along project, I hope this is the day you've been looking forward to, the final flip through of the 5 journals that I created. So I think we will start with the TN size, the Traveler's Notebook size, or style. Shouldn't say they're Traveler's Notebook size, because they're not. They're a little bigger, but they're the TN size. Let's start with the pink one, because that's a fan favorite. So this is a ribbon closure. The ends have been slightly melted with a flame so that they don't fray. The overall size of the journal is, I've got my ruler upside down, is 8.5 by I think 4 3/4, something in that. Oh yeah, 4 3/4, and a whole bunch of stuff in here. So I used a pattern paper pack that I got last year, I think. I'm not sure anymore. Let's get started. So inside the front cover, I have this pocket that I created using antique lace and some vintage eyelet. And maybe you saw me make that using a little bit of plastic, acetate, film, something. And here's a tag that I made, again, using antique lace. For the little glitter in the flower centers, I used some glossy accents. And this was a cutout from a paper pack I got 3 years ago, I think. It's all inked up, and this is some seam binding. Here I've made this pocket, has a little tag and a bigger tag on the inside. And on the edge of that page I have put some vintage hand crocheted lace. This is a tag that I made using die cut flowers, poinsettias. A little bit of stenciling there. I love this tag. So I die cut this snowflake, covered it in glossy accents. This was a picture from a cutout, and some leftover paper from the paper pad. A little bit of stenciling here, some music paper with a little stencil. This is a December calendar. I've just backed it with some tea-dyed paper. Use that for journaling. This is a little cutout from the pack, and again, a cute little tag. Here I did some stenciling using a couple colors of ink. This is a fabric flip. This is antique lace that I've included here. And across a little mother of pearl button there. Across the top is some hand crocheted trim that involves rickrack and some crochet cotton. This paper is avocado dyed and lace, like I put plastic lace on top. Actually, this wasn't plastic lace, this is regular lace that I put on top and dried it in the full sunshine and made that lacy pattern. Little pocket. It has this beautiful tag inside. I think this page stuck to some glossy accents on this front. Texture paste on this Christmas Carol music paper. Again, some more pink dyed paper. Little tag dangle here. This is some antique. This is antique eyelet lace. A little pocket. Again, here I've used, this was a cutout from paper I had, some antique lace, and I added some glossy accents to make the little flower centers. Here I have another tag. This is some antique lace. This was in the Tim Holtz ephemera pack, I believe, and I just added a little bit of glossy accents. And then this little tag has another glossy accented snowflake on it. Even the back's gorgeous. Love it. So I've used an antique, probably not antique, but definitely vintage paperclip. This is a hand crocheted ornament. Little fabric pocket with some pink lace, some pink cotton print, little bit of tatted lace, and this is a vintage euchre scorecard. Another little pocket. Oh, good, Santa down there. Dictionary page. Oh, I left my page stickers on there. That happens. Dictionary page. This is a double tag I made using a vintage Christmas card. And there's a little dangle there underneath this pink trim. Gosh, I left quite a few in there. This is a journaling card I made using an image from a book, and I backed it with some pink paper, some pink dyed paper. This is a page from a children's book. Another little lace pocket there, and this cute little tag backed with tea-dyed paper. I'm quite thrilled with how that came out. This has got a little hand-tatted snowflake, a little bit of bling, some fabric. Another tag I made with antique lace, a little bit of glossy accents. This little card is actually an antique. It says kind thoughts, severe. Sincerest wishes for a very happy Christmas from Maud. And it has a little verse in there. There's some places for journaling. Another little lace pocket. I made this journaling card from a vintage, oh, yeah. I think this was like a 4, folded in 4, and I just cut it off the top so that it could be opened up and used for journaling. This is a little book image showing a doll from a catalog. I love how the tea staining happened here. Little pink pearl. And on this side, Bright and Happy Christmas with these pink carnations. Oh my gosh. Little journaling card there. A little tuck spot down here. And this is from an antique player piano roll. It says Christmas chimes. Some ledger, pink dyed paper. This folds out and there's some scraps of paper to write notes on. Got a couple laces, some velvet ribbon. And on the other side, there's this paper bag that has a gorgeous little tag in it, as well as this accent from the paper pad, and a little journaling card I highlighted with glossy accents. Fabric ruffle. Music paper. This is a little journaling card I made using an image from a book. Little tuck spot there with antique lace. Look at the little snowflakes. A little element here, some lace, some bling. A couple of these. This is from I'm looking for a year. I don't see a year, but it's from Timothy Eaton Company. And this is from a provider of coal, coke, and wood for burning for fuel. That was December 20th, 1941. I don't see a date on this one. Gorgeous antique lace here. Another journaling card that I made with an image from a book. A little stenciling here. Added this flower. Flower, of course, needed a little bling. Some antique crocheted lace. Little pocket at the back with two little tags. And this flips up for journaling. And the last tag is right here. So that is Pink Christmas. I'll try to go a little quicker through the next two, and then hopefully, well, I'll probably have to split this into two videos. So this one is Merry and Bright Traditional Christmas, and I have a couple of old jingle bells here tied onto the threads that I sewed this with. This is some vintage seam binding. Again, 8.5 by 4 3/4. This is paper that I rescued from the top of an antique box. This little pocket is made from packaging for Christmas tags from Denison, and this is a very old Christmas gift tag. I've made this tag from a vintage greeting card. A little bit of lace on that side. Little tag here. This is made with vintage wrapping paper. And a matchy-matchy there. This is an address label, vintage. Here's some music paper. And inside, I've just used a little bit of tea stain paper to write a note. This is from a vintage greeting card. This is from Tim Holtz Layers. Little flip. And underneath is this cute little baby. And something can be tucked in him. Or hand crocheted lace. Little pocket. It has this tag in it. A little bit of fabric at the top. Some Christmas Carol music. This contains a letter. It's dated December 21st. Here's a vintage, this is, I don't have a date on it, but it's old. Another page This is from a vintage Christmas card. This is torn from an envelope. I just made this little tag dangle here from this fabric. This is a genuine picture photograph. This is from Tim Holtz. Had a little tear at the top, so I added some some sticky tape. Christmas card list. This is from a vintage Christmas card. This is also a little tuck place down here, so something extra could go down there. This is a little tag. I've just doubled it over this dictionary page. Add a little paper clip and this little bead that looks like candy to me, a little peppermint candy. Book from a page from a book, I mean. Tuck spot there, and on the back, just a little textile embellishment there. This is a letter from December 21st, 1931. And inside I have a little tag that I made. Another little tag that I made. And it goes in this pretty fabric here. This is antique. And I've just tied on this little button. This is made from a vintage Christmas card, and he flips open. And the back is also available for journaling. Put your feet in there, Mr. Snowman. Here is a little element that I made using a stencil. And you can use this for journaling on. This is a vintage tag. A little journaling card I made from a picture from a magazine. This came from a card, and it was actually 3 Christmas carols. And it all unfolded, but I glued it so that it was showing the 3 Christmas carols. So we have a vintage gift tag with Santa Claus there. This is a vintage German vocabulary card, to wish, to hope for. And this is a plain card with Santa Claus front and back. This is a tag that I made. This image came from a magazine. Goes in this fabric pocket. A little authentic milk cap. Cap. I made this little embellishment at the top here. You can use it as a tuck spot. Here's some scraps of paper to write little notes on. This page came from a vintage book about music. A little pocket made from a glassine envelope. This ticket came from Tim Holtz. A fabric ruffle. Christmas Carol music. This can be used as a tuck spot. It has a vocabulary card and a vintage Christmas tag, gift tag. Fabric flip with some hand crocheted lace across the top. This is a tag that I made. These poinsettias were cut from a vintage Christmas card, as did these word snippets. And finally, we have this little pocket at the back. made from a card. And this flips up for journaling. So there is Marion Bright Traditional. This is Marion Bright Nature. So you see I have some snowflakes. These snowflakes actually came from a little package of Mill Hill beads. If you were any kind of a cross stitcher once upon a time, you will recognize the name Mill Hill. This is a piece of hem tape. It's sort of like a very fine cotton, and I've tea dyed it. Most of the color of the tea dye went into the edge, so I love how that turned out. So this is Marion Bright Nature Sings, so it's mostly nature related. Lots of botanicals, sometimes some animals. So this is a tag that I made, and it's decorated with several layers of lace. There's a place on the back to journal. This little tag was at Tim Hortons. Catherine. Tim Holtz. Flashcard. This also came from Tim Holtz. Another tag that I made. There's a cardinal and some stamps. There's a little cardinal in the background. This was from Tim Holtz Layers. I made it into a little pocket page, and this came from Tim Holtz. Might have been paper dolls. Was it within the paper dolls? So it shows these two guys out in the snow. Music page, a stenciled image using texture paste, and inside I just added this. This was an inside page of an old book. Use that for some notes. Vintage Christmas card, and here I have this picture that I cut from a magazine and backed onto some paper. Here's a little bit of stenciling here, paper doll, a little fabric flip on some tea-dyed paper. This is a tag that I made, and it pops right into this pocket. A Christmas carol, and I chose "Oh Christmas Tree," to go with the theme. A little dangle there, tag dangle. The bottom, I did a stamp of a tree and added this little deer from Tim Holtz. There's a pocket, this couple on a toboggan, and I made this tag using a vintage Christmas card. I love this little snowflake up here. A little element, collage with fabric, and this is a Tim Holtz snowflake. It has little rhinestones in it. This was made from a magazine image, actually. And I just splashed some white paint on it and added this sentiment. This is also a pocket, and this is a photo of a little boy cutting a tree. He's wearing snowshoes. This came from Tim Holtz. Little tag that I made. It's a double tag, actually. So it has a different image. Well, it's a Christmas card that I folded in half, so there's places to journal there. I just added this little piece of string onto the paper clip to jazz it up a little bit. Page from a book. some scrapbook paper, did a little stenciling, added this die cut snowflake, little piece of fabric and lace here, and I added this tiny little silver snowman. Looks like he belongs there. Tea-dyed paper. Card that I made has some postage stamps on it. This came from a vintage card, I believe. Another lace pocket with a card. This was like one of those peekaboo cards where you lifted it up and it brought out 3 layers. So there's 1, 2, 3 layers in this card, and it says Yuletide greetings. Goes into that lace pocket. The tag I made from a vintage greeting card. The deer comes from Tim Holtz. This is a vintage postcard. Wasn't used, so I grabbed this vintage postage stamp with the robin on it. A little tag that I made, and this was made from a vintage postcard. I added some things to decorate it. This fabric has pine on it, some birds. This, whoops, I think I pulled it too fast. I think I'm caught on something. There might be something in there. This is an ephemera holder, so I have a couple vintage stamps from 1975. This is a player's cigarette card of a robin, a European robin. This is a vintage gift tag, and this little piece was cut from a magazine. It was an example of a vintage Christmas card. So all of those things are removable to decorate. There's some hand crocheted lace at the top. This flips out. There's some paper there for writing some notes. A little pocket here, and I've added a couple of postage marks and stamps that were torn from some vintage envelopes, 74 and 78. And those just pop right in there. This came from Tim Holtz. Fabric ruffle down the side there. This is a vocabulary card. This is an old Christmas gift tag. I made this from a vintage Christmas card. And these two things overlap just to make a tuck spot. Music paper. Here's a little guy with his skates. Bit of a fabric flip. This tag was also made from a vintage greeting card. And on the back, this paper flips up for journaling space and makes a pocket. It has this collage tag on it and a place for writing on the back. So this is Merry and Bright Nature Sings. How are we doing for time? I think we might be able to get through one more. So this is Mary, and Mary is in shades of gold and red. She's got lots of charms. I have her closed with this gold colored sari silk. And her size is slightly different. She is about 5 3/4 by 7 3/4. I have some paper on the inside, has gold and red. This has some gold trim here, and I used this vintage green card. Actually, it was an antique green card, and it does have some gold on the front. And this vintage gift tag is pinned on there with a gold paper clip. This is the front cover from the actual book. It's called Santa's Footprints from 1953. And it says Santa's Footprints on the spine. I have a little charm here. It's a gold Christmas tree and it has little gems. Page from the original book. This is fabric flip. All the fabrics have some gold. Christmas Carol. This has a little tuck spot on the back, and this is a vintage green card. To you and your darling, Carlotta. This is an antique trade card. It says, may you have a very happy Christmas, and it has some gold around it. She's wearing a gold locket. Put a little trim here. Or sorry, a gold bulb pin, and I think this was from a broken earring or something. So it has this little wreath on it, and the heart says Merry Xmas on it. Jingle bells. This is a vintage gift tag. Open it up. You can put some secret writing there. And this is also a tuck spot. This is a 1911 greeting card. It has gold trim around it. This is a picture of a family. I cut this from a magazine, just backed it with some old paper. Here's a little gold jingle bell. And it has some glittery snowflakes stenciled on both sides. On the back, we have this flip up for extra journaling. I used this velvety ribbon with gold trim and a gold brad. This is a journaling card I made. I believe this was from an image from a book. I'll put that in later. This is a cut apart from Christmas. And this is just a piece of tea-dye paper. Greeting card, Tim Holtz. Love all the gold in there. This is an antique cigarette silk that I stitched onto this tag. And it says Madonna Lita. And again, fabric has gold poinsettias on there. Just making sure I'm here. Original book page. A little bit of, this is a gold pin, and it has another little gold heart charm. It says I love you on it, I think. Yep. And fill our hearts with cheer. This flips out. There's some papers there for writing little notes. It's all decorated with fabric. On the back, I have this vellum pocket. This I made, this came from a Reader's Digest. Got some old gold doily there. Music paper. This little pocket was made from a Christmas card, and inside is a Christmas card. So the inside and the back could be used for journaling. This is some antique lace, and this card, I made this from some Christmas Carol book, some gold Denison stars, and I think I cut this from a Ideals magazine. Get in there, you. This is an antique, I believe a trade card. This is an vintage Christmas greeting. Has space on the back for some journaling. This has a little gold snowflake on it, on top of this collage of fabric. Love this guy. This was created from a vintage Christmas card and even decorated on the back. Tim Holtz. I put some film there to fill that in. Here's a tag. That's a vintage Christmas card. This is an antique Christmas card from, I don't know, I can't read it. And this this button card is also antique. I just what do you call it? Altered it. I altered it. On the back is another tag that I made, and it has some tulle on top of it, a couple layers of, well, one layer of lace that I mitered the corners, and here's a little image cut from a book. Fabric. Another fabric flip with a gold button, some gold trim across the top. It says December 24th, December 25th. This is Tim Holtz. And this, I believe, was an image from a book that I made into a journaling card. And I have this little gem. Well, it's not a gem. It's a bead that has a little gold crown on it. And I attached it with this gold pin. On the back, this is a pocket from some gold lace and the paper. So this is a tuck spot, so you can put something in there. This I made from vintage wrapping paper. Added a little buckle there and some grosgrain ribbon, and that is Mary. How are we doing? Let me stand up and look. Oh gosh, we can do one more. One more it is. Okay, this one is my absolute favorite. It is the soft, mushy covered mattress ticking. It is 8.5 inches tall, 5 inches wide. I believe it's 1 3/4 inch spine, thereabouts. I have closed it with this ivory colored sari silk and just pinned on this 3 little bells. My favorite part about this book is the cover. I have layered bits of antique lace all over the cover and made this using fabric and gesso and a stamp. Inside, I've also covered the inside with the same ticking. This pocket is made from a handkerchief. It's loose, but the bottom of it is stitched down. I put 2 little buttons on either side. I stitched those down just because I was worried that the pocket might rip. This is a a vintage greeting card or postcard or something. Little word card, some vintage Christmas Carol music. This seal, it's a Christmas seal, is old. This is an old Christmas card, 1909, 1908 actually. Some trim. Made this tag with a vintage Christmas card. Vintage card from 1931. It's Tim Holtz. This is a picture from a magazine and a vintage Christmas card. This came from a 1906 book, and it was A Little Town of Bethlehem. So it has the words from the hymn on the other side of the page. This is vintage Christmas paper. I have 9 billheads in here. This one is from 1974. That's from that book. This is from 1910. It's very heavy for a postcard, actually. And I love the look on Mary's face. Baby Jesus, not so much, but Mary's face is really beautiful. On the back, I made this little journaling card using an image from a book. And this paper flips up for journaling. I made this. The tag itself was made from vintage Christmas paper. And then this Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer was cut from a vintage Christmas card. And he just slips in there. This envelope is from the work basket. So there's a spot in there you can slip a little something into. It was unused, of course, so I put this little Christmas postage stamp on it. This is vintage thesis paper. Here's a billhead from Star Oil Company from 1883. Holly and the Ivy. We have some Christmas Carol music. I made this just the other day. This little piece of paper came from inside a Christmas card. And I thought, isn't that neat? And so this would have been in the card like this. But I've just folded it over so it has the picture and both sides could be used for extra journaling. We'll just tuck that up in there. Little fabric cluster. This has a little dangly photo of a boy on his tricycle. This is vintage wrapping paper with these silver trees. And billhead from, I don't know when. We'll have to find out when we get there. You saw me get this little cluster, I think. Here's a little tag. I used a vintage napkin to decoupage that. This is an image from a book, and I just added some stamped and embossed snowflakes, added a little bit of embossing powder around the edge to look like snow, and then I added this gold thread, but added beads to kind of make it look like electric wire. Tim Holtz vintage Christmas card. 1897 for this one. This flips out. We have some papers here to journal on or write lists. This came from a Christmas Carol book. Here it is on the back. A little bit of these banners are paper. This is fabric, of course. This was cute. I think this, it's German. It's to Dear Ronald. I just tucked that into this vellum pocket. And here's another German card. This is, let's see if it's got a date. 1903. It's pretty. Little textile there. So from my book, my Little Town of Bethlehem book, this was the inscription from 1906. It's to Lucille from Lillian. This is a vintage card, an antique card actually. This I made from a vintage greeting card. So it had several layers, had 3 layers. So I did this in 3 layers, and used some glossy accents on the star. 1870. Little Tim Holtz paper doll there on some vintage Christmas paper with silver bells. It says silver bells. An old cigarette card, a greeting card, just tucks up in there. This is some vintage Christmas paper. I've added this old Christmas seal and some word snippets, Tim Holtz stickers. That's another piece of that thesis paper. 1869. Whoa, that's 153 years old. Fabric flip. This came from a Christmas card, a vocabulary card. This is a greeting card from, it's signed L.B. Clark with an E. A tuck spot. This is an antique greeting card. And here's a tag that I made. This is some hand knit lace. So this is old, and it opens up. It's from 1910, and it has this little tissue that has an image on it. It says 1910, and then this is paper. It says to Margaret from Zella, and some more images. And the back is torn. So this must have been glued into a like an album of some kind or whatever. So the back's torn, but how can you resist not saving that? Made this little journaling card using an image from a book. This is a vintage seal, and this is a vintage gift tag. Some old Christmas wrapping paper. This came from a greeting card. I had that in my stash. It's just a little glittery thing. Here's Santa on the telephone again. Made this tag. And the pocket is Tim Holtz layers. 1890. Maybe it was supposed to be 94. Or it could be 91. 91, because that's a line under it. This came from a book about music. We got a little pocket here that has, it says December 23rd, 1923. So it has this little girl waiting for her stocking to get filled up. Little fabric flip. It has this, this is a tatted snowflake. I added a little button there. This came from Tim Holtz. I love this cheeky little lady. Look at her expression. And I got a little word sticker there. It says, "I'm feeling Christmassy." Just slightly worried that my battery's gonna die. There, gonna plug that in. This is a greeting card that I've folded in half and wrapped around this dictionary page. This one comes from 1871 from Henry Hearn Confectionery. That's from that 1906 book. Some tea-dyed paper. And there's this little pop-out. Came from a Christmas card. It doesn't exactly have the effect I wanted. That's okay, it's cute. This has a little photo, and that's an authentic photo. It has some snow, and there's a dog. It says, "May your days be merry and bright." This is a Christmas greeting card. It's not English. It says Fräulein, so that must be German, although the Merry Christmas is English. That's from 1906. This is a vintage paper clip, and I just tied a little bit of ribbon on it. This is a greeting card, vintage. Phew. I love this little guy. Let me get him closer for you to have a look. So behind that little piece of music is some U.S. postage stamps. They're vintage. They're 13-cent stamps. But I layered up the music high so it looked like the mailboxes were coming out of a snowdrift made by the music. This is a vintage greeting. It just tucks up there. This comes from a vintage book about trees. So it's a spruce tree. A little bit of music with a tuck spot. I made this from a book image. Fabric ruffle. Music page. That's a red spruce. That's a white spruce. And this is from January 26, 1893. Look at that handwriting. That's beautiful. This is an old gift tag. It was kind of a little water damaged here in the bottom, or dirted. I don't know. This came from Tim Holtz. This is some a scrap of tea-dyed paper doily. I made this tag. Inspired by Diane, who made wrapped tags. So this is wrapping, this is some ribbon, and this is an old gift tag. And just sits right there. A little photo of a girl under her Christmas tree. This was cut from a magazine. I put it on some tea-dyed paper, a fabric tuck. This came from a vintage Christmas card. These came from an old Life magazine. This one older than this one, clearly. And I thought, oh, those are fun decorations. Could be used someplace else. So I thought, I'll just tuck those in there. And this is an inventory tag. It also has a little tuck spot there. This was made from a vintage greeting card. This is a Christmas seal from 1945. Vintage wrapping paper, vintage Christmas seal. a billhead, manufacturing and wholesale stationers and importers of albums, fancy goods, etc. Engravers, printers, binders. Vintage thesis paper. This is from 1891. This little boy, he's got a cute little grin. It says "Let It Snow," and it's on top of one of those die-cut snowflakes I made. A little bit of stenciling. This was a gift tag. You can open it up, add some journaling. This is some antique lace on the side. This is an antique card. It says "Good luck to your fireside this Christmas." That string is original to it, but it's a good match for the plaid, eh? And this fabric pocket is filled with a tag. It has, this came from a vintage magazine. This came from a vintage magazine. So it's a picture of this fruitcake from A&P. And on the back, I have another corner of that handkerchief making a pocket. And inside I have a vintage Christmas postcard from 1932. And then this is a photograph. It's, he's not shoveling, he's sweeping snow from the sidewalk. And there's a pine tree in the back. This came out of a photo album. So that is the Merry and Bright ticking. If you're seeing this video, these journals have all been listed on my Etsy shop. Go take a look, see what's available, see if there's one that you're interested in taking into your home this holiday season. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this craft along over the last couple of weeks. I know I had a good time, and I feel like it was very productive. I hope you got some ideas, and yeah, take care. We'll be back again soon to do another project. And oh, here's my little Rudolph, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.